It's Blue Murder right here on your classic metal show from their self-titled debut release. That is Ptolemy. I think that's how you say that word. And just before that, we started the show off with Warrant from their Dog Eat Dog release with The Hole in My Wall. And I'm looking out through the hole in my wall, and it looks like there could be a tornado at any time. But speaking of forces of nature and a tornado blowing his ass into the studio is my good friend, thespian, author, esteemed colleague, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
You really reached on that intro.
Hey, regardless of that,
What's up, man?
I'm a clever guy. I try to just, fit it, make it all fit in like a puzzle.
Yeah, there you go. So you like that Blue Murder tune, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
That fucking riff is so fucking nasty, man. Just I'm loving that.
Cool. Well, that is an awesome CD, and it's a shame that Blue Murder basically only did 2 studio releases and had a live release, which I'm not even sure if that was like an official live release.
I think we got that. I think that came courtesy of the Warlock, who just had it somehow.
It was like a Japanese thing.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a shame that band never did make noise, because like them and Badlands are like the 2 bands, 2 of the best of that era.
Sure.
And didn't make any impact at all. Here I am coughing already. Jesus.
Already. Well, anyway, that was a Blue Murder, and we've had Carmine Apiece on the show, a few times over the years, and he has even in the latest time that we had him on the show for the release of the King Cobra, he has threatened to put together the lineup of Blue Murder again.
Well, he doesn't need to threaten. He needs to deliver on his threat.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. But, everybody isn't that strange that a guy like Carmine, who is a part of so many successful things, be it Rod Stewart or Black Sabbath or Ozzy or Blue Murder or
Vanilla Fudge.
Yeah, Vanilla Fudge, or, not that I was a fan or really knew much about him, was Cactus,
Right, yeah.
And he also was part of that thing. What was it called? Stomp?
Oh, yeah, he was part of Stomp, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was part of that. And, he's just one of those guys who is always working, but, only unless you're a hardcore rocker or a big fan of music in general would you know his name.
See, and that, you know what? That's the way to live. Be a millionaire and nobody fucking knows it. That's a good way to go.
Sure. So, anyway, there you go. And that was a request for you. What was the reason for that?
You know what? I've literally just had that song in my head all day, and I wanted to hear it. No other reason than that. I guess I could have been like I always bitch at the fans that just played it during the day, but I don't know. I just had it in my head, wanted to hear it, and put it in there. Said, here, play this.
Oh, I thought you were trying to impress some pussy or something.
No pussy here to impress tonight.
Well, it didn't have to even be there, being that we're broadcast worldwide. I mean, it could have been miles away for all I know.
Well, and on that note, I'd like to sing a verse from Miles Away from Winger. Nice. From my lovely girl, Kelly.
Sure.
Miles away!
Right.
No pussy to impress tonight. Just me being me today.
All right, excellent. Well, you had quite an action-packed day, which I'm sure you'll want to speak about.
Yes, very busy, very thespian-like, and not lesbian-like, but thespian-like.
Right.
And interesting to say the least, man. I ventured into a world I really didn't know today.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm looking forward to making a segment all about that.
Well, any segment that's all about me is good, isn't it?
Sure. Well, a year and a half from now, should I deliver a book like we've talked, maybe I'll be in the same limelight as you.
What do you mean, should you deliver a book?
Well, I mean, you're a busy guy, and, it's just I'm depending on your expertise here to help shepherd me along in my venture.
I literally have a very scheduled thought process of getting your book done. It will be done, and it will be done. It will be done by October of next year, so that we have 2 months to dick around with art and, the thought process of if you want to hire an agent and get a real deal versus a self-pub or whatever you want to do.
Sure.
We're going to have it done in time.
Right. Well, I'm still thinking very strongly on that cover of me sitting at the bar with Sheldon Tarsha looking on and calling it a powerful man.
But you got to be sitting like above the bar,
right?
Sheldon looking up at you,
right? Well, I got to be sitting on a high bar stool, and he's kind of like sitting in a low, a low seat on the floor, and looking longingly at me, and I'm just kind of gazing off, thinking of my next adventure, and Sheldon is looking on with great awe and admiration. It's just called A Powerful Man.
Somehow I'm not thinking that's going to be the title or the photo.
But that's just what came to mind.
That would be funny.
But, of course, my all-time favorite title is A Story of Don's Friend. That one still,
The Road Gear by Neeley.
That still makes me laugh.
That is hilarious.
The Story of Don's Friend.
That would be a good title.
Nice.
With forward by Don Dockett, of course.
Sure. The Story of Don's Friend. Nice. Well, anyway, we are back on the Classic Metal Show. Glad to be here, actually. I was looking forward to doing the show all day. My nephew stopped by today, and we kind of hung out and just did the guy thing.
Right.
Went and had some wings and, talked about chicks and, banging girls. And
so what did you come out of this discussion of banging chicks of that you didn't have going in?
Well, he's at the age now,
How old is he?
He's 30.
Okay.
And at one time in his foolish 20s,
right,
he had that lofty idea of the wife and the kids and the house and, so on and so forth.
Oof, okay.
Now he's got, and because he didn't make that mistake, and he's still happily single.
Right.
He has a good job.
Right.
Bought a house 2 years ago.
Okay.
Which is a very nice house, by the way. You've seen my place?
Yeah.
It's in league with this.
Wow. So it's a real nice place.
It's in a nice area.
Right. Drives
a nice car.
Okay.
Makes his own money, all that good stuff. 30 years old.
Right.
Every chick I go out is a nutball.
Sticks him and quits him.
Basically, yes.
Nice.
Yep. He had the idea. His older brother had done that already. Did the married and 2 kids and the house in suburbia and all that stuff.
Sure.
And he thought that was the road he should travel.
Yeah.
But after he, got a hold of himself at 30 years old, he's thinking, not so keen on that now.
Yeah, you know what? Not so worried about dying alone.
Right. So we basically sat today in the CMS studio for a while, and I played back some of the clips that our fake producer Wheezy put together of your,
escapades.
Yeah, your crazy bitches and, Angel of Death and
shoes.
Where's my shoes and Chris needs a lover and that kind of stuff. And he just laughed and laughed and laughed. He goes, God damn, that's so true.
Boy, it is ironic how many stories in the last 2 years there are about me and pussy.
Right. Well, he just sat there laughing, but nodding his head in agreement.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right. Sure.
And he says, God damn, that's funny.
That's awesome.
So anyway, regardless of that, we hung out and we just kind of did the guy thing, hanging out and talking about chicks and movies and talked about your books and we talked about, that kind of stuff. And he headed home and now he's tuned in and, hanging out at home and listening to us.
Well, as he should be.
And then I had a long discussion, a fairly long discussion with a mutual friend of you and I.
Oh, yeah? Who?
Mr. Steve sends on his regards.
Oh, well, I miss Steve greatly.
Yeah, he said, please tell Chris I said hello and I send my best.
Well, I send my best back to Steve.
Right. And he said, I haven't spoken with you in a while, but since he has the newer car with the Bluetooth hookup and the iPhone and all that, he says, I listen to your segments regularly on the Spreaker.
Well, that's good.
And he says, you guys are goddamn funny.
Hey, It's good that he's listening, because have you ever talked to him when he's on that Bluetooth?
Well, I'm talking about the Bluetooth connection to his stereo.
Oh, yeah, I know, but have you ever talked to him when he's on his Bluetooth in his car?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough listen. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, man. It is so hard to hear.
Yeah. So anyway, he emerged out of the from under the rocks after I believe it's the last time I spoke with him was like close to 3 months ago.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Yeah, I love Steve, man. He's good people.
Yeah. So he sends his best to you.
I send my best back.
Sure. So that was my day, and like I said, I don't want to get into your day right away.
Sure.